We start our class seated. So sitting in a comfortable and yet very conscious way. So crossing the legs helps us ground, that's why we do it. But any other way that works for you, on a block, on a sofa, on a chair. And then just rest your hands onto knees or hips, thighs, and close your eyes. And closing our eyes to drop into this moment, and to drop into our body, to drop into our senses. And also closing eyes to release the tension around our eyelids. As you soften your eyelids down, notice how your eyebrows soften and the space between your eyebrows softens. And notice how your forehead softens. And it's almost like the brain itself sort of relaxes and softens. Notice all the little muscles around your eyeballs and gently relax them, release them. As if your eyeballs drop downwards, inwards. Allow that to happen. And then checking into hips, we gently hinge forwards and back just a couple of times to check, where am I sitting? How could I might I be able to stack my spine a little taller? Might there be tension in the way? And also shifting left and right, feeling the sit bones ground evenly. Unlocking our jaw, unlocking our jaws, soften our tongue, the root of our tongue, our throat, the roof of our mouth. Even if your lips open up a bit, that's fine, relax into it. Notice your head stacking above your spine. So for some of us, the chin tends to reach forward. Gently bring it back. Imagine yourself leaning your head into an imaginary wall behind you. It's almost like leaning into yourself. So you can anchor that with a little roll in the shoulders up to ears and back and down. Sense and feel your shoulder blades slide down to hips. Sense and feel your heart space, your collarbones open up as you lean into yourself, leaning into space. In our day-to-day lives, what I notice happening is that we separate, we become these separate beings. This is I, this is you, and there's nothing in between. What I'd love us to explore today and in every yoga class really is that space is something, and that our boundaries are not as clearly defined as we sometimes perceive them to be. So leaning into space, resting into space. Bring your attention to breath. And also with our breath, notice how it's this exchange of breath, of space. We're breathing space. And the image I have on my inhalations is that I'm breathing in space and I'm expanding through my body. And then exhaling to soften out, to let go of anything that's tense and dense and tight. Really flowing with breath and with intention, using it as a tool to expand physically in our bodies, but also to widen our lens of awareness, stepping out of fight or flight, stepping out of this tunnel vision and just expanding. And breathe with that for a moment. Be with that. witnessing this moment as it is. All that is alive around you, all that is alive within you. Finding that still point inside that is able to witness, untouched, unmoved. Witnessing this moment from a spectator perspective. Becoming really curious. Opening up to the depth and richness of this moment. The depth and richness of every moment. Maintaining this presence, maintaining contact with this still point within, we slowly open our eyes and take sight back into our awareness. And remaining curious, maybe looking at your mat or looking up, not with a sense of knowing, but with a sense of curiosity. Find things you've never noticed. Be curious, wonder about the space that surrounds you. And we'll slowly lift our hands up and just hold them up. Keep your shoulders soft, keep your neck soft, your collarbones soft, and close your eyes again, gently softening forehead and eyelids, and ask yourself, how do I know my hands exist? Not moving, not looking. How do I know my hands exist? And notice, simply witness. Maybe you notice the air brushing your skin. Maybe a sensation of aliveness, a pulsing inside your hands. Simply witness. These labels are just pointers and helpers. Simply be with what is. And we'll gently open our eyes again and stretch our hands out to the sides. And try and touch the side walls, so you're really stretching out. You want your fingertips to reach, spreading fingers wide, sliding shoulder blades down, and lift your chin, lift your heart, open your chest, widen your collarbones. And if you like, you reach your hands back and towards one another. A true deep opening into chest. Lifting chin and continue to breathe. Every inhale expansive, every exhale softening, letting go of what's tense and tight. And on our next inhalation, we lift our arms and drop our gaze. As we exhale, we slide our shoulders, chest, ribcage downwards. So you're growing tall from pelvis, growing tall through your spine, but letting the ribs, letting the shoulders soften down. So there's a strong sense of connection. And we'll twist left, we'll twist from the tummy, from the hips. Continue to lengthen through your crown and then bring your hands down, gently looking over back shoulder. Your back hand might come flat. Looking over back shoulder, mindfully turn your gaze to look over front shoulder. And explore your range of movement. How far can you look behind you? Turning head mindfully back over back shoulder. And remember that sense of leaning into yourself, taking time, softening. And we'll slowly rise our arms up, coming to center. Reaching tall, exhale, arms come down. And as we inhale, we rise them up again. As we exhale, we simply slide our shoulders down, slide our lower ribs down. As we inhale, we grow taller through our spine. And on our next exhalation, the hands come down. Let's do that again. We inhale, the entire inhalation, one big movement. As we exhale, we drop and soften through periphery. As we inhale, we grow a little taller. And this time, as we exhale, we twist right. We bring our hands down onto earth, looking over back shoulder. And then turning gaze, looking over front shoulder, your hands down, exploring your range of movement. Exploring range of movement back, looking over back shoulder again. See if you can go a little deeper into the twist. And we'll slowly come back to center, rising arms up. Inhale here. Exhale, soften shoulders, rising through crown. How tall can you become through your center? Really grounding through sit bones. On your next exhalation, hands come down. We inhale, our arms back up. We exhale, sliding shoulders down, reaching tall through crown. And let's lift our feet, and they might just lift a tiny bit, maybe a little higher. Feel free to explore. Bring your knees close to chest, your belly close to legs, and uncross them, cross them the other way. Keep sliding shoulder blades and rib cage downwards. Open your knees, cross your legs, folding forwards, hinging onto front sit bones. Bring your fingertips down onto earth, and then hinging even further as if you're rolling your pelvic floor onto earth. Drop your knees outwards, let your head drop, but lengthen from the pelvis initiated forward fold. Every inhale, feel that lengthening through your spine. With every exhale, you go a little deeper. Let's bring our chin to chest, round ourselves up to sit, rolling our shoulders back a couple of times. Opening our arms out to the side, spreading fingers again. And then we bring our hands behind us, grabbing the opposite elbow. Rolling shoulders back. Let your arms rest on your lower back as you lift your heart. Feel your shoulder blades slide down. So navel is up and in. You're really strong through your center. Lifting heart. See as if you could bring your elbows down onto mat as you lift your heart and lift your chin. Feel this entire space open up, stretch and widen. And then we slowly take that into our forward fold. So hinging from the pelvis, use the weight of your arms on your lower back to really ground into hips. And release your head wherever it lands. Check in, are you holding tension in your thighs? Can you soften a little more? Can you release in your hips? To come up, we lift our chin, we lift our gaze, and with a long flat spine coming up. We release our hands, inhale our arms through the sides and up. As we exhale, we soften shoulders down. We bring our hands forwards, bring our feet a little closer, coming onto hands and knees. Spreading fingers wide, aligning knees with hip bones, feet with knees, hands with shoulders, fingers spread. As we inhale, we arch and lengthen, lifting sit bones, lifting gaze, lifting collarbones. Stay here for a moment. Stretch and reach. I quite like moving around in this, gently shifting hips and shoulders. Take another big inhale here, and as you exhale, you round. You point your tailbone down. You widen your spine, consciously creating gaps between your vertebrae. And gently shift your weight forwards and back. Just forwards and back. Stretching out wrists, spreading fingers. And center, as you inhale, you arch. Consciously sliding shoulders down, lifting heart. And then flowing in your own pace. Let's say 5 rounds. Rounding and arching. Maybe circling and stretching. Exploring. This is yours. Explore into your body. Switch on your core. Move into belly. Check in your elbows, hug them into hips. Keep your chest wide and open, really making space. And we meet again in our rounded position, rounding up.
And then all we do is shift our hips onto heels and fold, release our head onto mat into child's pose. Point your elbows down to earth, feel your shoulder blades wide. And now in your next inhalation, you lift your gaze and you reach your hands as far forward as you can with your sit bones still on your heels. So lengthening through the side torso. Keep your shoulder blades rolling outwards and apart. And then you slide onto hands and knees. And our hips drop and our hearts lift. Roll your shoulders back. Slide your shoulder blades down. Ground into index finger base. Really trusting hands, pressing earth away. Not shrinking, not collapsing, but making lots of space. And then coming up onto hands and knees, moving back into child's pose. Keep your hands where they're at. Keep externally rotating your upper arms as if you could point your elbows to mat. And then rounding up again. And softening through the hips. It's like a wave flowing through your spine. Pressing earth away, lifting heart, pointing tailbone down. Coming up, reaching back. And continue to flow in your own pace another 5 times. Adding on whatever you might need to add on. Pausing wherever you might need to pause. Continue to hug your elbows into ribs, chest wide and open, and explore. Let breath and movement flow. Give yourself into this moment. No judgment, no doubting. Just flowing. Every breath and every movement creating a little more space. Consciously feeling our connection with earth and the potential for expansion grounded in that. Trusting your intuitive way of moving. Trusting this moment. And we meet on our hands and knees. Check the fingers, see if we can spread them wider. We tuck our toes and find our plank. Lifting knees up, pressing heels back as if you're standing on your heels onto a wall. Lift your head slightly back, looking forward. Lift your navel. Extend your tailbone downwards. And reach here, stay here. Feel the space between your shoulder blades wide. Lift your lower ribs up and in. Lift your navel up and in. If you need to bend your knees, you can do so. If your knees need to be on the mat, you can do so. Feel your core strong. Continue to lengthen through your spine. Continue to lengthen through your breath. Every inhalation expanding. With every exhale, you contract into center, making it yours, being where you need to be right now, this moment, and continue to breathe. Keep that same sense of ease and softness as we have in our meditation. And let us take another inhalation. And as we exhale, we will find our way into down dog. Shift your legs and move your heels. Roll your hips side to side. And notice, explore your downward facing dog. Opening the back of the legs. See what it feels like to lift both heels up high. Shift your heels forward. Bend your knees, and at the same time, the hands press forward and your chest releases to thighs. Your sit bones poke up. External rotation through the upper arms. Pressing hands into mat. Feel earth under hands. And then rounding into left leg. Keep your heel lifted. Keep your sit bones poking up. Maybe lifting right leg up. Keep your hips level. Notice what happens in the shoulders. Breathe through it. Right leg comes back down. Grounds. Heel lifts up high. Toes spreading. And left leg rises up. And explore here. Feel. Notice. And another inhalation here. Leg down. Knees down. Toes back. Child's pose. Reaching. Softening. Inhale to expand and exhale consciously surrender into forward fold. And then chin to chest, roll yourself up, sitting on heels. Coming up onto knees. Bring your hands alongside your thighs, fingers spreading wide, and then knaping here to press the hips forwards, to press the thighs forwards. Making sure navel is lifting up and in. Our hands might slide back to thighs and just rest here. Open your collarbones, open your chest. This might absolutely be enough. Stay. If you can slide your hands slightly down, you're welcome to. Use your hands to press into thighs. Keep your navel lifted. Lift your sternum. Let your spine unfold. No tension here. You're pointing your tailbone down and forwards. You're lifting your navel up and in. And you're exploring this. Maybe chin to chest. Maybe chin up to sky. Find what's spacious. Another deep inhale. A deep exhalation to soften deeper. And then coming up slowly, gently. Hands onto mat. Finding your tabletop. Checking your hand alignment. Tucking toes and reaching into down dog. Shaking it no and nodding head yes. Open your armpits and collarbones towards your toes. And then looking forwards, bending knees, lifting heels, gently walk your hands to feet. Eventually your heels come back down onto earth, gently shifting forwards and back, rounding into toes, into heels, fingers supporting you on mat. Let your feet grow roots into earth. And then grounding the feet, outside edges parallel, bring your hands up onto knees and thighs. Inhale to lift your heart forwards and up. Poke your sit bones out, hug your elbows in. Another inhalation here. If you want, you bring your hands onto pelvis. Pelvis initiated forward fold. So you're tilting your pelvis forward. Lean into the front feet. Draw your kneecaps up. Lift through the back legs. And then let your arms drop. Let your head drop. Your knees might be bent deeply. See what feels true for you. Maybe your legs are straightening out, lifting sit bones, hanging, playing with the groundedness through your feet and the reach in the sit bones. Then bend your knees, chin to chest, round yourself up to stand, all the way up. Coming up as if you're unfolding yourself, rolling shoulders back and up. Releasing shoulders down, grow tall through your crown. Beautiful. And we inhale our arms through the sides and up. Make as much space as you can. Grab the space above you. Exhale, shoulders and ribs down. See if you can reach your hands slightly back and still connecting through your center. So this all strong and inward. Shoulders slide down, ribs slide down. Strong lift through the legs as you sit back into Utkatasana. Align yourself from sit bones into fingertips. I always think of ski jumping when I come here. So reaching, imagine that ramp in front of you. Sitting a little deeper. Bring your hands past your knees. Interlock, roll your shoulders back. This might be enough if you want to take it further. Again, folding from pelvis, resting chest onto thighs, reaching arms up and over. Let your head hang. Let your shoulders soften. Maybe the sit bones can rise up a little higher. Explore your range of movement. Explore the depth and richness of this moment. Trust your feet. Let your body unfold and expand. And then bending the knees again, slowly lifting gaze. Releasing hands, slowly lifting arms. Inhale here. And exhale, folding forward. Release your spine forwards. Maybe the sit bones rise high again. Can we make our heels light? Lift your toes, spread them out. And inhale here as we exhale. We bend our knees, look forwards and find our plank. Spreading fingers wide. We bring our feet a little wider than the hips and pausing in our plank pose. The knees are welcome to help. Find that that length through your spine. So consciously feel from tailbone into neck and feel that length. Bend your elbows a little and hug them in towards the hips and then straighten the arms out again. And from here we roll onto outside edge of right foot. If your knees are on the mat, stay on your right knee. We stack our hips, we stack our heart and lift our left hand up. And now pressing right hand into mat, lift your left hip a little higher. Reach your left arm up and over. Create this rainbow shape from feet to fingertips. And expand, looking up, looking back, breathing yourself strong. Coming back into plank, left hand onto earth. Pausing here in center. And now either supported by left knee or outer left heel. Reaching, lifting, right arm rises. Notice what's alive in you and around you. Right hand up and over. Make yourself into this rainbow shape. Open the right torso. Strong through your left hand. Lean back into yourself. Trust your feet. Trust this moment. And hand comes down. Inhale, plank. And exhale back into down dog. Soften back into earth. Allow down dog to be a beautiful resetting pose. Recharging. Always able to replace it with your child's pose. And let's look forward with curiosity. Really see the space between your hands. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. Lift your torso away from earth and find your right foot between your hands. Now, knee above heel. Bring your hands onto knee. See your knee above heel. See your big toe base ground. See your inner ankle, your arch rise up. So you're lifting through the inner foot, through your center, into crown, and you're stacking yourself up. Start with your back knee bend a little. And just gently lifting it up and down. And check your knees. Are you squeezing them inwards? Can you point them slightly apart to take the movement deeper into our glutes, into the outer hips? Dropping and lifting. Feet hip wide. Torso nice and upright. Hands onto hips. Roll your right hip back. Roll your left hip forwards. And check in. Make sure your heart stays open. You're not squeezing shoulders up. You're dropping them down. Contract into your center. And then we come up, lifting the knee as high as we can, drop our back heel low. So reaching heel back, reaching knee forwards, still wanting to lift the front pelvis, tuck the back pelvis, lifting through pelvic floor and navel as we rise our arms up. Inhaling here, exhale to soften shoulders down. Inhale to rise through your crown, and then exhale to sit deeper into your legs. Beautiful. Release and reach into it. Now, hinging forwards. Taking our time. Notice the groundedness through your feet. Where's the weight in your right foot? Distributed between heel and toes. Lift your toes, spread them out. Hands come onto knee, gently hugging the knee. We lean forward. We find our right foot. And we check in. See, can we lift our left leg up? Can we balance on our right foot and lean and reach? Can we witness our right leg moving and shaking, balancing? We might be able to slide our hands down to ankle, or we might need our hands on earth. Just notice. Find softness in the rest of your body. Really focus your energy, focus your attention on where you need it, on the groundedness through the leg and the expansion through body. Slowly slide your hands back up to knee. Bending right knee, stepping left foot back. We land again in our lunge warrior. We open it up, hips parallel. We rise our arms up. We soften shoulders down on our next exhalation. And then as we inhale, we open into warrior two. Rolling back, heel down. Hands to inner thighs. Open your thighs away from one another. See if you can ground your front knee above heel. And then check in. Can your torso be upright? So some warriors tend to be forward. And some warriors are a bit more hesitant. Find yourself centered. as if you were still standing tall, and sink deeper. See if you can align your collarbones with the long side of your mat, your right thigh with the long side of your mat. And then as you stretch your arms out, they might also align with the long side of your mat. And then we turn our head, turn our gaze to right middle finger. Ground your hands into space. I find especially this warrior, using space to support us is really powerful. Imagine your hands pressing into space. Grow tall through your crown. Very powerful pose. Settling deeper into it. Grounding into left pinky toe side, right big toe, leaning into it. Simply being here. Keep extending and expanding through your spine using breath. And we sway our left hand past our hip, roll onto left toes. Moving back into lunge warrior, rolling left hip forwards, right hip back. Inhale here. Exhaling, hands move through space in slow motion. At the end of our exhalations, hands land on mat, shoulder wide apart. Grounding hands into earth, slowly lifting right leg up and away. Now lifting right heel, dropping left heel. Lifting right, dropping left. Look into the space between your hands. Lift your right, drop your left. And we'll bring our right leg down onto earth. We'll bring our knees down onto earth into child's pose. And just take a moment to check in. Release your forehead onto mat or onto hands. Checking back into breath. Let your elbows rest on earth. Noticing the sensations in your legs, noticing your breath. If you like, maybe pressing knees into mat and rolling onto crown of your head. Just gently massaging the crown of your head as you move forwards and back. And if there's a bit more space, you may slide your hands back, lift your hands up and away. Now this might be enough, or you interlock your hands. Maybe the unfamiliar way, and let your arms drop up and over. Let yourself soften. If you want to take it further, you might even be able to tuck your toes and lift your knees. Just explore, be playful. Trust the mat, take a step back when you feel it's enough. We'll bring our knees back down, we point our toes back. Release it back into child's pose, hands alongside the feet. When you're ready, chin to chest, roll yourself up to sit on heels. Hands onto knees. Pause for a moment. Let your body adjust, head being back above the heart. And when you're ready, come into plank. Finding your plank, very conscious. Check your elbows, bend them, hug them in. Stretch them out, lift your collarbones, lift your navel, lift your lower ribs, point your tailbone. Breathe here. We take another inhalation together and we exhale into down dog. Shifting hips back. Feel your hands grounded deeply. Allow your heels to release more and more down into earth as we stay here, as we revisit our down dog. And then lifting both heels, bending both knees, looking forward. See the space between hands and then picture your left foot landing there and witness it doing exactly that. Now checking into left foot, lifting through your inner ankle, grounding through your big toe base. Bringing hands onto knee. And just gently stacking ourselves up. Now sliding hands up. Hands onto hips, bend your back knee a little. And again, maybe moving up and down, you can rest it onto mat for a moment or lift it up. Keep your pelvis upright, your right hip gently rolling forwards. And it's very tempting to look down and round forwards. At the same time, we open our heart and we gently lift our gaze. Really making space. And then this time we come up and we press our back heel down. We release it down, not so much pressing, releasing it down. Front knee forwards,
check your knees. Are you knaping them in? Point them apart. Pelvis upright, tailbone down, leaning into front knee, lifting into back knee, reaching into back heel. And with a big movement, inhaling, arms to the sides and up. And inhale to reach, and exhale to, again, soften through our periphery, the shoulder blades, the ribs. Inhale to lift your gaze and lift into crown, reaching tall. Simply being here, really conscious in your legs. Notice what your feet are doing. And then we hinge forwards, hands come onto knee, we hug our left knee, we find our left foot, and right toes might stay on mat. Or the right leg might be able to lift. You're welcome to keep left knee bent. Lifting right leg a little higher. Have the intention of pointing right toes to ceiling. Your hands might slide down to ankle. Witness your left foot balancing. Hands might need to be on the mat. Be where you're at. And be there fully. Breathe that calm and even breath. So your nervous system knows it's fine, it's safe. Relax. Focus your energy to where it's needed. Soften your jaws, the space between your eyebrows. We slide our hands back up to knee. We step our right foot back, landing back into lunge warrior. Hands onto hips, building it in this beautiful conscious way. Rising arms up, inhale here, exhale, soften ribs and shoulders, soften a little deeper into legs. And then we open up into warrior two, rolling our back heel down. Bring your hands down. Let your shoulders hang. Let your ribs soften. But you continue to lift through your pelvis. And then check in. Can you bring your left thigh parallel to mat? Can you open your thighs apart? Can you align your chest with the long side of the mat? Never compromising on the front knee, always keeping it above the heel. Maybe we can open our arms and see our arms and chest parallel to mat. Then turning gaze forwards, left hand pressing hands down into earth, down into space, shoulders soft. Really turning gaze, the chin turning, looking, sitting a little deeper. Continue to lift through your pelvic floor, through your spine. Every inhale you grow taller, with every exhale you might be able to settle a little deeper into your warrior two. And simply be here. Notice if the toes are holding on to mat, maybe hinging forwards and back, settle a little deeper. Be here, fully present with all that arises. Curious. And then we'll reach our right hand past our hip, consciously, mindfully rolling onto right toes, rolling right hip forward, finding our lunge, dropping right heel low, lengthen and reach. An inhalation here for even more space, maybe leaning back into it, and we exhale to move through space. Hands come onto earth, fingers spread wide, lots of space, making space, and left foot slides back into three-legged downward facing dog. Shoulders level, hips level, right heel drops low, left heel lifts high, elbows tucked in, take a look forward, lift left heel higher, a little bit higher, and release it down. Bring your knees onto mat, point your toes back, settle your sit bones onto heels. Take a moment, reach and lengthen, and exhale into child's pose. Rest your hands where they want to rest. Maybe in line with feet or reaching forwards. Give yourself permission to simply melt into earth. Nothing to hold on to. Release. Witness your heartbeat and witness your breath. When you're ready, bring your chin to chest, roll yourself up onto heels. Take a moment to make sure you're grounded and you're not dizzy. And then we lift onto knees again. Our knees hip wide, our feet hip wide. Have a look at your feet. All toes on the mat. Hands alongside the thighs. So as much as we lift through the bottom half of our body, as much as we lift through hips and pelvis, we soften through our torso. So it's like pelvis and rib cage do this movement. And then from here again, hands might move back. Notice how your front shoulders open as your palms face forwards. Your hands might come onto thighs and opening chest a little more. Keep pointing your tailbone down. Notice your glutes are working hard. And then reaching a little more. Leaning a little more. Lower back super long. Navel strong and lifted. Maybe sliding hands a little further down. This round you might be able to bring your hands onto feet, but it absolutely doesn't have to. Rather take a step back and lean and dare from there. Maybe your head comes back, your throat might open up, your chest might open up. Keep pressing your hips forwards, your hips above your knees, above your knees. And let's slowly come back out of it. Let's rest our hands onto mat. Take a moment to release. Trust your body to guide you. We lift back onto knees and we step our left foot forwards. We bring our hands onto knee and we shift our knee to be above the heel. And if it shoots past your heel, just walk your foot a little further forward. Sink a little deeper into it. Right hand onto right hip. Roll your outer right hip forwards as you sink forwards. And gently lift through navel, lift through front hips as you lean your pelvis forwards. And you might want to stay here with your hands holding you in place. Get that groundedness. Or you might be able to lift your hands up, palms together or palms apart. Notice what's true for you this moment. So grounding into earth, the pelvis, the legs softening to earth, and there's a strong sense of lift through your spine and then expressed through your fingertips. Remember this growing tall through your spine on your inhale, and then with every exhale, soften ribs and shoulders downwards. Strong center. From here, explore this pose. Explore your range of movement. And let's have another inhale to reach even further. As we exhale, we bring our hands down. They land alongside the front heel. Rest your left armpit onto left knee. So you now lift your hands, and there's no weight in the hands. Our chest truly rests on our left knee, on our left thigh. So the heel really grounds into earth. And we'll simply be here for a moment. Maybe you sway, checking your hips, keeping them in alignment with the front mat as much as you can, and sinking into that leg, sinking into gravity. Your knees moving into opposite directions. Maybe you can even shift your back knee a little further back, but releasing into it. Notice what it feels like to have your head hang. Notice what it feels like to maybe lift your head forwards and up, but keep your weight on your thigh. Notice what it feels like to shift weight into front foot and into heel. Notice how these subtle things can change everything. Now we take another inhale, another exhale to soften deeper. And to come out, we slowly shift our hips back. Maybe drawing front toes towards us. You might be able to slide your fingertips slightly back. Inhale to lengthen. Make space into body, expand. And as you exhale, you fold that length over your extended leg. And from here, slowly we shift forwards, knee above heel. Fingertips in line with front heel. We tuck our back toes under, find our back foot, lift our back knee, ground our hands flat, and shift our left leg into three-legged downward facing dog. Again, check your right foot. Your heel drops low, your left heel lifts high.
Look forwards, check your shoulders, level out. Lift your left heel a little bit higher and left leg comes down. And the knees come down. And the toes point back. We slide into child's pose. From child's pose, we roll ourselves up to sit on heels. We come up, we lengthen, we stack, we come up onto knees. And we step our right foot forwards, hands onto knee. Now shift your weight forwards. Keep your pelvis alignment. And if the knee shoots past the heel, walk the foot a little further forwards. Foot and knee hip wide apart. And soften into this. Soften into hips. Now bringing hands down alongside the heel. And chicken, pointing tailbone forwards and back. Left hip rolls forwards, right hip rolls back. Navel lifts up and in, chest wide. Remember, inhale, lengthening through your center, through your spine, and every exhale drops your ribs, your shoulders. Maybe staying here if there is space, reaching, fingertips up and away, reaching into crown. Continue to lift through your pelvic floor, strong through your center, as you might be able to sink a little deeper into left hip flexors. It's an exploration. It looks like we're still, but there's a lot going on. Continue to explore. Every inhale makes space. Every exhale lets go of anything we don't need. Any tension we're holding which is not useful right now. And we slowly lean forwards, hands come down onto earth. Ground your right knee into right armpit, into right chest. And then the hands come flat, but there's no weight in the hands. And sinking hips, really let them drop into gravity. Keep your pelvis aligned, keep your chest aligned. Maybe just resting hands onto earth. Check your right foot, feel that lift through your inner ankle, that lift through your arch, your big toe grounded. And shifting weight from front foot to heel, notice what that feels like. And checking in again, are you holding on, are you contracting? Let's see what it feels like to let your head hang, just be here. On your next inhale, lift your gaze, notice what that feels like. Checking into hands again, no weight in hands. Take another inhale. Exhale to maybe surrender a little deeper. And then shifting our hips back and away. Walking our hands slightly back. Inhale, lifting gaze. So your toes might come towards you or point forward. And as you exhale with that length, you fold over your extended leg. You poke your right sit bone back and up and reach and lean. Coming up again, knee above heel. Fingertips in line with heel, tucking back toes under, lifting back knee, grounding hands flat, reaching right foot into three-legged downward facing dog. Open chest, elbows hugged in, left heel drops, right heel rises. One more breath here and exhale, leg down onto earth. We have a look forward, see the space between your hands, and then step or jump your feet to land there. The hands slide up the shins onto knees, onto thighs. We lean and lengthen forwards. Tilting our pelvis as we exhale, going into a deep forward fold. Either your hands hanging. If you like, slide your hands under feet. Or maybe using peace fingers to hook the big toes. Going deeper into your forward fold. Opening wide into the back legs. Really folding from the pelvis, rising from the sit bone, lifting kneecaps. And we lift our gaze halfway up, fingertips onto earth, bring your feet a little wider, squat down, have a moment here, bring your elbows or upper arms to inner knees, open your inner thighs wide, shift around, allow your heels to drop into earth, open knees wide. Find length through your spine. Every inhale you grow taller. With every exhale,
ribs and shoulders slide down, release down. Find your groundedness, lifting arms up. Keep your knees wide. Now this can be quite challenging. Reach a little deeper. Open your hands, bring them back behind you. Come to seated. Step your feet forwards, reach your arms forward. Soften shoulders and roll yourself down onto mat. Now if you want to put something extra on for your Shavasana, this is a good time to do so. And rolling down, expanding our spine into mat. And maybe rolling up again. We're always welcome to grab our thighs. Rolling down, making even more space into back body. If you need another attempt, rolling up again. And make the longest line from tailbone, from vertebra to vertebra. Release yourself down. Reach your arms up and over for a moment. Stretch your arms out. Release your shoulder blades and elbows into earth. Lift your legs. Point and flex. Circle your ankles. Let your pelvis rest on earth if you want to wiggle it around. Feel your sacrum relax and be massaged. Stay here if you like. If you want to take it a little deeper, dip your knees onto forehead, lift your hips up high, or maybe your toes onto mat above your hips. Make sure you have no weight in your spine, but grounding the back of your head into earth. If you want, you bring your arms around, interlock your hands, gently pressing upper arms or pinky fingers into earth, lifting the sit bones up high, making space, breathe space into back body. And when you're ready in your own time, roll yourself back down onto earth. To release this, we're going to bring our knees into chest, our heels to sit bones, our arms out to the sides, inhale and center, exhale, knees to the right, gently turning gaze left, stretching it out. Every inhale, making space, every exhale, dropping into gravity. Relax your feet, relax your knees. Inhale here, exhale to deepen. Inhale to prepare, exhale, knees to center, and go the other way. Release them over to the left. Turn your gaze right, open wide. Every inhale is space, every exhale, ease. Another inhale to expand. Exhale to deepen. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, bring your knees back to center. Hug your knees in tight. Round yourself out and expand into Shavasana. Close your eyes. Shift around for a moment until you come to a position where you can drop into stillness. A Shavasana that feels supported and grounded. A Shavasana that allows your shoulder blades to ground. That allows your collarbones and heart to be wide and open. A Shavasana that's truly grounded. Eyes closed. Again, filling each moment with curiosity. Breathing in, breathing out. Exploring, observing. Noticing any kind of reactivity towards sounds or sensations. Any sense of reactivity towards this moment. Brush it away by coming back to curiosity. Notice all that is there. No labels, no judgment. And if there is judgment, become curious. Witnessing and remembering that all belongs. Breathe into that still point within you. Breathe into this level of being, this space of wholeness and stillness. Breathe into your essential nature, your true self. Notice what it feels like to be connected inwards. As you move into your day, remember this and find ways to reconnect with it again and again and again. Remember that life can be lived from this space of spacious stillness. Every time you're drawn up into head, come back to this embodied sense of being. Bring your attention to breath and take a few deep, filling and reviving inhalations. Few deep exhalations, letting go, breathing out whatever does not serve you. Breathing out all these things you know about yourself and the world. Make space to be curious, space to wonder, space to be in awe with life and the awesomeness of being alive. Rolling over onto right hand side, bring your knees up, hug your arms around you. Whenever you're ready, come up to seated. Find your sit bones. Find this deep connection to earth and then rise tall through your crown. Turn your inner gaze up. Find the light burning bright between your eyebrows. We bring our hands together. We'll rest our thumbs onto that light, letting that light shine through our fingertips. We inhale to reach and rise even taller. And as we exhale, we bow, dropping thumbs onto heart, bowing the knowledge of our mind to the wisdom of our heart, bowing to our inner being and to the connectedness of all of us. Slowly lift your gaze, open your eyes. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. Have a beautiful day. Shine your light, shine your light. Thank you.